You are 28 years old. You are sitting at a kitchen table that is not yours. The chair underneath you came with the apartment. The walls around you are a shade of white you did not choose. You can hear your neighbor's TV through the wall. You have heard it every night for 3 years. Your landlord just sent a message. Rent is going up again. Third time in 4 years. You read it twice. You put the phone face down on the table. You look around at a space that holds your entire life but belongs to someone else entirely. And for the first time, not as a passing thought but as a real and urgent question, you ask it. Should I be buying instead of renting? Everyone has an opinion. Your parents say buy. Your friends say the market is too expensive. The internet says both things at once and charges you a subscription for the confusion. Today we cut through all of it. Not with opinions, with reality, level by level. You pay $1,400 a month in rent. It covers everything except food and transport. The apartment is decent, central location, no maintenance headaches. When the boiler broke last winter, your landlord fixed it in 2 days. You called, he sent someone, you paid nothing. This is the part nobody mentions when they say renting is throwing money away. Flexibility has a price, and sometimes that price is worth paying. At 28, you do not know where you will be in 3 years. A new city, a new job, a relationship that rewrites everything. Renting keeps your options open in a way that a mortgage does not. But here is the number that should sit uncomfortably at the back of your mind every single month. Over the next 12 months, you will hand your landlord $16,800. At the end of those 12 months, you will own exactly 0% of that apartment. The money is not invested. It is not building anything with your name on it. It is gone. The question is never whether renting costs you money. It always does. The only question that matters, is what you do with the money you are not spending on a mortgage. Same age, same city, same salary, different decision. You buy a small apartment, $220,000, 10% down, $22,000 saved over 3 years of deliberate, uncomfortable discipline. The morning you sign the papers, your hand is shaking slightly, not from fear, from the weight of it. That night you sit on the floor of an empty apartment, your furniture has not arrived yet, and you eat takeaway on the carpet. The walls are the same shade of white as the rental, but this time you are already planning what color you will paint them. The mortgage payment is $1,180 a month, less than the rent. You feel clever for about 3 weeks. Then the building fees arrive. Then the insurance. Then a bathroom tap starts dripping and the plumber costs $180. The real monthly cost of ownership in year 1 is closer to $1,600. More than rent. But something is fundamentally different. Every single month, a portion of that payment is not disappearing. It is building equity. Slowly, quietly. By the end of year 1, you have paid down $4,200 of your mortgage principal. That is $4,200 of ownership you have accumulated. And the property has appreciated 3% in value. Your $22,000 down payment has generated $6,600 in equity growth. Your actual return on that down payment in year 1 alone is over 40%. Not because property is magic, because leverage used carefully is one of the most powerful wealth-building tools that ordinary people have access to. Back to the renter. For years have passed. Rent has gone up twice. You now pay $1,600 a month. But here is the version of this story that almost nobody actually lives, and the one that changes everything. Every month you took the difference between your rent and what full homeownership would have cost you, the mortgage, the maintenance, the insurance, the building fees, the repairs, and you invested it for $100 a month into a broad low-cost index fund. Automatically, every payday, before you could spend it. 4 years later, you have $22,000 invested. The exact same amount the buyer put down as a deposit. Your money is liquid. You can move cities tomorrow. You can change careers. You can take a risk that the homeowner cannot take because they are anchored to a mortgage. You are not behind the homeowner. You are building wealth differently. And here is the truth that most rent versus buy debates completely ignore. The renter who invests is not losing. The renter who spends the difference every single month, every single raise, every single bonus, that person is losing. That has always been the real comparison. Not rent versus mortgage. Spending versus investing. The buyer is 33, 5 years in. The property bought for $220,000 is now worth $255,000. The mortgage balance is $187,000. Equity, the portion they actually own, is $68,000. They put in $22,000. $22,000. 5 years later, that $22,000 has become $68,000. A 209% return, not including the fact that they have been living in the asset the entire time. Not including that their mortgage payment has stayed completely flat while the renter's rent went up 3 times. But here is the full picture that the highlight reel never shows. Total interest paid over 5 years, $47,000. Building fees, $18,000. Insurance, $6,000. Repairs and maintenance, $11,000. The true cost of ownership over 5 years is $82,000 on top of the mortgage principal. Homeownership builds wealth. Genuinely, meaningfully builds wealth. But it is not cheap, and it is not passive. It is a long game that rewards patience and punishes panic. Stop for a moment. Both of these people, the renter and the buyer, are making it work. Neither path is wrong. The path that is wrong is the one where you spend 27 years paying rent and saving nothing, or buying a home that stretches you so thin that one unexpected bill sends you backwards. The vehicle does not matter as much as the driver. Remember that. Keep going. Something shifts at 35. For the renter, the flexibility that felt like freedom at 28 starts to feel like uncertainty. Rent has gone up again. The landlord is talking about selling the building. There is no guarantee of tomorrow in a place you have lived for 7 years. The roots you have been putting down in this city have no anchor. You start to feel it at dinner parties when the conversation turns to renovations and neighborhoods and property values. You smile and change the subject. For the homeowner, something different is happening. The mortgage that felt enormous at 28 now feels manageable. Not easy, manageable. The equity that felt abstract and far away now feels real and growing. They refinanced at a lower rate last year. The monthly payment dropped by $140. And the property, bought at $220,000 when everyone said the market was too expensive, is now worth $275,000. The people who said wait for the market to drop are still waiting. Time in the market did what timing the market never does. The renter buys at 37. Later than planned. The market has moved. The same apartment that was $220,000 9 years ago is now $310,000. The down payment required is $31,000. It stings. But here is what is different about buying at 37 versus buying at 28. The renter who invested the difference for 9 years has $61,000 in their investment account. They use $31,000 as a down payment and keep $30,000 invested. They are buying on a higher income than they had at 28. They qualify for a better mortgage rate. Their financial foundation is stronger than it would have been at 28 when they were still figuring out who they were and what they wanted. The first night in the new apartment, they sit on the floor eating takeaway. No furniture yet. The walls are white. They are already thinking about what color to paint them. Took 9 years longer, but they got here on their own terms, with money still in the market. 27 years since that kitchen table, since that landlord message, since the question that would not leave. The homeowner bought at 28. The $220,000 apartment is now worth $520,000. The mortgage is paid off completely. They own it. Every wall, every room, every memory made inside it. Their housing cost is now building fees, insurance, and maintenance. Roughly $600 a month. They have $520,000 in property equity and a retirement account built steadily alongside it. The renter who invested bought at 37. The $310,000 property is now worth $490,000. They have $180,000 in their investment portfolio from the years they rented and put the difference to work. Combined net worth from property and investments, $670,000. Slightly ahead of the homeowner in total net worth. Both made it. Both retired with options. Both look back at the decision they made and feel it was right, because it was right for them at the time with what they knew and what they had. The person who did not make it is not in this story, because they never started. They spent 27 years meaning to buy and never saving enough, or buying and spending every dollar of equity as soon as it appeared. They are still at that kitchen table, still hearing the neighbor's TV through the wall. Subscribe to Buck Finance. I will see you in the next one.